What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Sforgo. Today we're going to be doing a couple little runs against Tower of Illusion and the final stage of Tier 7 plugin plant. And the reason this is going to be possible is because of the plugins that I do have available on these characters, which I farmed for about 4 hours today. And the characters we're going to be using are Ashe, Vyse, and my man Rugal, a solid green team. So we're going to jump into the plugin plant. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I have this all set up. And the Tier 7, guys, is wild. You get some insane plugins out of this. We're actually going to be doing the final one, and we're doing this for a couple reasons. One, we're going to show it's possible to have an EX character on there, because the thing about EX characters versus the UE characters, especially with overall points, because you need a certain amount of overall points to be able to get in, to be able to come in here and do a lot of damage. The thing about these characters is they don't have this watch icon right here, right? And having less power on your character means that you're not going to be able to get as many overall points as other characters, but still, even at Tier 7, you can actually still make these characters more than strong enough to be able to play in here, because the idea in the plugin plant is to always make sure that your overall points is above what they recommend right here. And you guys can see we got 3355, 3350, 3325. I got 98 Athena as a striker for my Ashe to make sure he stays alive, but really I could probably use a different striker, to be perfectly honest. We got Maki we got Magaki. You really want UE characters as strikers for the most part. And then we have Maki, who's going to be really, really great because he's going to give 60% increased attack to all teammates, which is awesome when all three of these guys are on the field. And you guys can take a look at the plugins. The thing about the plugins on both Rugal and Vyse is that all I'm really looking for, guys, is overall points. I just want more power, right? This 148, 144. I'm looking to have more power. But what you really want to do if you're going to face the final stage of the plugin plant, but you don't really have to do it, because you can just actually just stop and not even face it and just start all over, reset the whole plugin plant, start from stage 1, and just go and just do all those and not even really worry about it. But if you are trying to do the last one, maybe to get some extra rewards, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. But if you are, then really what you'd want is you want the highest amount of power available, and you want to have momentum on these. So you can see that these plugins really aren't ideal because they don't really have momentum, right? The only thing I'm really using them for is just to have those overall points right here. That's it. That's all I'm really looking for, right? We're just running the Rugal set here with these on them. That's it. And when it comes to Vyse, it's pretty much the same thing. If you take a look at Vyse and you take a look at my plugins on her, you'll see that, well, there is a little momentum here, which is actually, this is actually insane, 11,400, and this came from the Tier 7 plugin plant. So this is ideally what you're looking for, high power and then a lot of momentum, especially in the plugin plant and the Tower of Illusion. Really, really OP, but really more OP than that would to be have, you know, momentum and whatever the character really bases his damage off, whether it's strike skills or blast skills or grab skills. That's kind of the things you're really looking for. So ideally what I'd be looking for is momentum and grab skills for Vyse, because she actually does her first skill over and over and over. That's how her Phantom UE's skill works. So that's how she would really do the most damage. If it was Isla, then it would be momentum and strike skills. If it was Rugal, momentum and blast skills, and so on. That's really what you're looking for. But if you look at my Ashe, he's a little bit different. You can see the power level on him, but you also see momentum. We got 4,012 momentum right there. We have no momentum right here, but we do have blast skill damage, which is very OP for Ashe. And then we have 10,000 momentum right here. This is insane. Plus the second skill gets buffed up. The third one here is just attack. And again, momentum by 9,900 when you're defeating an enemy. And then the last one, momentum by 7,400 and by 10,100 when defeating an enemy and when you're below 70% HP. OP as hell. If you look at my stat details and you look at my momentum, guys, it's showing 20,000, right? So this gives you an idea where you really need to be sitting. So you can have two characters on a team with overall points being high enough, but your main damage dealer, you really want to make sure that you have over 15,000 momentum in order to get it done. You guys can see the card set that I have. He does have max stones. We don't really need to look at that. Now, let me pull up the run for you guys, and this is the final stage of Tier 7, right? Stage 6, right? Now, I don't know if we're going to watch all this because, honestly, this is a long run. It takes about 6 minutes, but we'll watch a little bit of it. We'll talk a little bit about it. But, I mean, when you get all that momentum, guys, on your characters, look at the damage that Ashe is doing in Tier 7, right? I know he's been buffed up. He's massively stronger than what he was. But on top of that, whenever you get the right plugins on your characters, you can destroy, right? As long as you have enough overall points, which you can increase your overall points by adding power, the higher level power on your plugins, the more overall points you can add to your character. But at the same time, you really want to try to be adding momentum. You want to be trying to add, in Ash's case, blast skills, and Vice's case, grab skills, and so on, right? And they can absolutely murder. There's a lot of players like a tier 7, they just, they'll just spam their finishers over and over and over, which really isn't a bad idea. I mean, that's not a bad idea at all. It's just going to take forever, so I just prefer to play it this way. But I farm for those plugins for like 4 hours a day, just the green color, guys. Just the green color, and I think I'm going to farm a little bit more because I want to try to get even better plugins. I know we can try to get, some blast skills and things like that on them, because right now it's not really, I don't want to have to change the plugins over and over and over, right? And you can change the stat of a plugin. You can absolutely do that. The unfortunate thing is that it's all RNG. I might make it a separate video, doing that or attempting to do it, because that's another reason I want to do a whole bunch of farming, is that way, I can build up a whole bunch of plugins, have a whole bunch of fodder. That way, maybe I can get some of those little chips or whatever you want to call them, so that way I can hopefully change the stat and get a stat that I actually want on a plugin, right? But, it's a quick piece of advice is, I really, if it isn't gold or epic, right, a gold or a purple plugin, I wouldn't do that, right? It really needs to be one of those two. Epic preferably, or the purple border really preferably would be the best one to try to change stats on, because you have more stats available for you. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta take with what you get. Sometimes you'll have a, like I have a plugin that's 150 plus power, but it also has, a lot of momentum on it. So it's a good plugin, right? I don't want to get rid of it. So I could just change the stats on that if I really wanted to, right? Having the epic ones just gives you an extra stat beyond the gold ones. But the damage that Ash is doing, man, especially with that second skill, with that the constant hitting over and over and over is nuts. Like, it really is bonkers, guys. And I also want to clarify that on this, well, not clarify, but this run that you're watching, this recorded run, is actually on my PC client on my wonderful laptop, right? Not on my $5,000 computer, because evidently my PC here, for some reason, won't play the Netmarble launcher, and I'm not even going to get into it, guys. Believe me, I've spent days trying to fix it. Nothing works. So that's why I always have to play on the LD player, right? But sometimes when I want to show you guys a run, especially like when you have like all 3 characters in this stage 6 of a plug-in plant, it lags so bad if you don't have a really, really good device, or a good computer, so on, right? It'll lag so bad. So I really wanted to make the video a little bit cleaner for you guys. Didn't want to have a bunch of crappy lag and all that crap. I mean, that's just annoying as hell. Nobody wants to watch that, right? No, nobody wants to see that. So you actually get a nice run. And honestly, man, playing on the laptop is way better for me, because there's no lag. It's a lot easier. Everything's more responsive. And honestly, it's a lot more fun, right? I mean, I remember when the PC client first showed up, I just had a ball of fun. But, I mean, yeah, look at this, man. I mean, we're pretty much just plowing through it, guys. We're destroying the living crap out of it. And it's easy. It really is easy. I'm not even worried about survivability or nothing here. Literally just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Hit the awakened skill, right? Make sure all 3 bars of Phantom State are built up, the 3 purple bars there. And then, hit his Phantom UE skill. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And you always want to hit your 1, 2, 3 before you do your Phantom UE skill, because you're going to get that nice attack buff from that 3rd skill, and it only lasts for 6 seconds. So you want that attack buff up from that 3rd skill before you go into the 1st and 2nd from your Phantom UE skill. You'll do a lot more damage that way. And again, guys, the more momentum. I mean, this is what I'm trying to show you guys. Like, even at tier 7, this can be an absolute joke for you, as long as you have high enough leveled plugins, right? So don't ever get discouraged if you're playing plugin plant, you're at tier 3 and you're like, oh, I can't push any further. Just keep grinding and grinding and grinding for plugins. Keep trying to, get higher level plugins, equip on your characters. And once you get high enough level plugins on your characters, start worrying about the stats that's on them, like momentum, like blast skills, or whatever you need for your specific character that you want that specific plugin for, and you'll do a lot better. And as you guys can see, like when we're doing the old 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, bam, bam, getting it done. I don't know why I did the 1, bam, bam. I just thought it'd be funny. But as you can see, it's just ridiculous, what Ash is actually doing, right? And I really just wanted to highlight Ash a little bit too, because He really is nuts. And the reason I'm focusing on green is because you know who else is green, right? He's on the team, my man Rugal, right? So I'm trying to get some good plugins with a lot of blast skills for my man Rugal. I maybe try to do some runs later on, but I mean, yeah, I mean, he is nuts, guys. He is nuts. Every once in a while, the rotation gets thrown off, and I'll just use my Awaken skill over and over and over, and just try to build up in 3 Phantom State bars, do the 3 PG, because the 3 PG buffs up Ash's first and second skill. So it's always good to do the 3 PG, then use the skills afterwards, right? Okay, so we'll use our default. We'll hit the Phantom UE skill. We've actually lost a little bit of time from the 3 PG to buff up the first and second skill from the 3 PG, right? But, I mean, you guys can see he's doing like, he does half a bar of damage easy. One round, right? One rotation. And we still had almost 2 minutes left over at Tier 7, Stage 6. Tier 7, guys. Which is bonkers. I mean, it's really, really ridiculous, right? And you see the level plugins over 100. Now, I'm going to show you guys a run against Tower of Illusion, Stage 20, right? Stage 20 with an all-green team who's going to have a disadvantage against this stage at Stage 20, right? So this is really going to show just how powerful, and by the way, this run's going to be with the same plugins that you guys saw. When you see those blue numbers, you know that my character has a disadvantage, right? We're taking 50% more damage, and we're doing 50% less damage to these opponents. And yet Ash, look at their life bars. Look at their life bars. Look at how much of their life is dissipating whenever Ash starts running through his skills. Like he is, guys, he's murdering the living crap out of them. And you'll see, I'll switch to Vice and Rugal, and you'll see that they'll do just as well here, right? Because we have enough overall points, and we have enough momentum, at least on Ash especially, to get it done. And even though we don't have a high level of momentum on Rugal and Vice, we still can do quite a bit of damage because some skills are getting buffed up and so on. But it isn't like Ash. Because Ash has that 20,000+ momentum, he just can murder the living crap out of it because our whole team has enough overall points. I know it can get like confusing sometimes with all these plugins, but really, you know, depending on the game mode that you're playing in, really depends on what kind of plugins you have. And I pretty much about lost Rugal. Spoiler alert, I will lose Rugal before the end of this run. And by the way, I only did this run one time, guys. One time I did this run. Because I was able to do enough damage, I actually could get through it the very first time, which is awesome. Like, that's honestly really insane. I mean, that's really cool as I do it. But you can see old Vice can get it done, guys. Her bleed's nuts. That bleed is crazy as hell. I do hate it, though, when the characters get off, right? You're, like, on the screen, and the character's up here or down here, and you're trying to move around to get to them. Kind of annoying with some characters, whereas you have a character like Psyche, whenever he does his Phantom UE skill, his skills just go all over the place and just follow everybody all over the screen, which makes him godly, which we're hoping for above. Hint, hint, now Marvel buff up for Psyche. But anyways, Ash, you know, the descendant of Psyche, with all this range, not really a second skill just kind of sits in the middle, just gets out in front of him and sits there a little bit, but if that thing hits their target, it's nuts. Now look at the damage I do, guys. We're going to have a disadvantage here. Look at the damage I do. Look at the damage here, right? Oh wait, well we didn't have a disadvantage, I'm sorry. Right, but we don't have an advantage, right? White, yeah, we don't have an advantage. My bad, I kind of jumped the gun there. Now we need to switch because I'm going to die here. We're going to use Vice, and you can see that Vice will actually do pretty well against good old Ash here. It's kind of funny that, you know, this video has Ash versus Ash kind of thing. It's kind of hilarious. But look guys, look at the damage she does, right? Like one spin from that damn thing and she'll do like half a bar from her first skill, right? That's awesome. Poor Rugal, he's going to get it, man. I got a little too close. I tried getting away. Ash is doing his default, and that bastard got me right at the end. I was like, no! Like, I was so mad that happened. I was like, oh my God, I lost my man. But we got it done, right? We got it done, guys. 420, getting those sweet 2,000 rubies, right? And that is the difference that them plugins make for your characters, man. It's absolutely redonkulous, the difference that it makes. To be able to use a green team in stage 20 Tower of Illusion is insane. To be able to go all the way to stage 6 tier 7 in the plugin plant is nuts, because that's the highest level we have in the plugin plant currently, and they're just going to keep adding more, guys, and we're going to keep getting higher level plugins that's going to buff our characters up even that much more. So guys, let me know how y'all doing in the game. Let me know where you're at in the plugin plan, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I do stream on Twitch and YouTube. The link to Twitch in the description below, and y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody. Take care.